So in the colder weather, people typically wear woodsy fragrances, smoky fragrances, incensey fragrances, amber fragrances, but there is also this sort of genre of spicy fragrances that is thoroughly enjoyed. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over 10 amazing spicy fragrances to keep you warm and cozy this winter season. Make sure to stay tuned. Before I begin today's video and I tell you all about these 10 spicy fragrances, and of course I'm going to go over a bunch of different spices, I want to start things off by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me. So when you think of spices, especially spices that are predominantly found in fragrances, you have cardamom, cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, black pepper, pink pepper. The list goes on and on. So I wanted to include a nice variety in here. You have some designer, mostly niche, I have to be honest. Usually it's the niche fragrances and the indie fragrances that tend to be a little bit on that experimental side of things. So you're not going to see a whole lot of designer, but I do want to start things off with one that I particularly worked on. This was 2 Septembers ago, and this one is Emblazed by Navitus Parfum. It's probably the spiciest fragrance that the brand has to offer. This was a collaboration between Lucas Suzak and Olaf Larsson. Lucas Suzak did Reflection for Men by Amouage. He's an incredibly talented perfumer. They both are. And this fragrance does have coffee and labdanum, so there's a bit of a warmth in there already, but you have cardamom, cinnamon, pink pepper, black pepper. It was such a joy to work on this fragrance, and it is a very, very spicy, dark, yet warm expression. The next fragrance I want to talk about is a very common and popular designer fragrance. You already know about this one. This one is La Nuit de l'Homme by Yves Saint Laurent. Now the one that I have here in front of me is the L'Intense version. There's any number of flankers that keep that cardamom note intact. If you go for like the Blue Electrique, or no, I'm sorry, it's the Eau Electrique. That one has more of like a tonka bean emphasis, but Blue Electrique is a bit fresher in the opening. L'Intense definitely has that nice present cardamom note in there. It's a bit powdery, but it has a smoothness to it. That tonka bean dry down is really, really nice, and it's a great fragrance. So easy to wear, compliment worthy, and it's popular for a reason. We also have the original Kajal Homme by Kajal. Now this was a collaboration between Rosendo Matteo, rest in peace, and of course Christian Carbonell, otherwise known as Chris Maurice. This one does have some citrusy notes in the opening. There's, I think, a cassis note in here as well. I could be misremembering that, but it also definitely has like this spicy nature to it, and I really appreciate this. It has a bit of an amber dry down as well, so there is a bit of like this fresh yet exotic appeal to it. Definitely one that comes across very professional smelling. Of course, we have another spicy fragrance from a brand that I mentioned, but this is the first one on this list, and the only one on this list for today at least. This one by Amouage is Honor for Men. Epic is spicy, Fate is spicy. I didn't really put any cumin on this list. If you're interested in cumin, check out Fate for Men, check out Rose 31 by Le Labo. Honor Man is all about the pepper, but there's pepper, geranium, and elemi resin. So there is this brightness to it. There's also this exotic quality as well, but there's a lot of pepper in here, and I'm talking specifically about black pepper. So if you're looking for something on the darker side of things, something on the more mysterious side of things, Honor for Men is your man. The next fragrance is in the vein of saffron. So saffron is a wonderful spice, definitely conveys a lot of Middle Eastern sentiments, if you will, and I personally love the smell. It's used in the synthesis of leather accords in perfumes, so whenever you smell saffron, chances are you're going to think you're smelling leather. Sometimes it can be used for like a suede leather accord, but in any case, this one by Matière Première is called Crystal Saffron. This is probably the strongest saffron fragrance you will find on the market. And I also love just how natural and organic it smells. It's leathery, it's smooth, and it has like this really quirky, spicy quality to it. The other fragrance that it kind of reminds me of is Alfa by Mendito Rosa. That one is also a beautiful, beautiful fragrance, preceded it by a number of years, but Crystal Saffron is incredible. We also have another cardamom bomb, but this one with an amber backbone. And this one is PM, or Producer Michael, by Fragrance du Bois. What an amazing fragrance. This is, honest to God, the strongest fragrance on this entire list. 2 sprays are going to last you 12 plus hours. A little goes such a long way, miles and miles and miles with this fragrance. Absolutely amazing. Of course, we also have one of my personal favorites around this time of the year, and I like it because it kind of has like this lactonic base. So it's a little creamy and milky, and this one by Inika Perfumes is called Jaipur Chai. This one is all about cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom. It really does remind me of chai tea, which I do consume occasionally. So it's very warm, and it's definitely the kind of vibe that I seek for when I'm looking for something that will really fulfill that ambiance that one wants in the cold, because in the cold, you don't really want to wear aquatics and freshies. At least I don't, right? If I'm lounging around at home, I want something, or I seek something a little bit heavier. Jaipur Chai always does the trick for me. We have Malaise of the 1970s by Etat Libre d'Orange. This one is awesome. This one is plum, pepper, and patchouli. So there's a bit of a sweetness in there on account of the plum, but there's enough of the pepper to keep it dark. And this is one that definitely, if you give it a little bit of time, after about an hour or two, it warms up on the skin considerably, and it leaves a nice after effect. Now we have 2 more on this list, and the next one, again, a designer brand. Again, not too many designer fragrances do spice well. I was gonna put the original Hero by Burberry, just because that one is a bit peppery as well. It also has cedarwood, which can kind of come across giving off a peppery effect, but I promised myself that I had to look at the note breakdown, and there had to be at least 1 spice on there for it to make its way onto this list. The next one is by Comme des Garçons, which is a designer, and it's Bleu Encens. This fragrance has incense in here, specifically frankincense. It's very well done. It's a tad smoky, definitely mysterious, but it also has pepper. So this one is a nice, warm, smoky, mysterious, meditative type of a fragrance. Perhaps not as meditative as Avignon, which is part of the incense series, but if you're looking for something not as simplistic, a little more complex, definitely check out Bleu Encens. And then there's also Bleu Cedrat. That is a wonderful fragrance as well, if you have the opportunity to try it. So this next fragrance is peculiar, it's complex, it's very daring and strange and bold, and there's a love-hate relationship among many fragrance consumers and aficionados out there. Personally, I love it, but it does take a little bit to warm up to it, but it's such a phenomenal fragrance, and I can't sing enough praise about it. And it's one of those fragrances where, yes, it's not my favorite from the brand, and it did take a while for me to enjoy it thoroughly, but I feel like the magic of this fragrance really unfolds once you put it on skin. The fragrance is none other than Calan by Parfum de Marly. And Parfum de Marly, especially when it comes to a lot of their exclusive fragrances, Pegasus exclusive, Leighton exclusive, they can do spice as well. They add some woods, specifically some agarwood. Here, you have a spice accord, so they don't tell you exactly what spices are in this hidden blend. There's also blood orange in the opening, but it dries down to this beautiful woody amber. And it's just a wonderful fragrance from such an accomplished house. And these have been 10 wonderful, spicy fragrances to keep you warm and cozy this winter season 2023. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching this video. You didn't have to, but I really appreciate you taking your time. Hey, do you have any favorite spicy fragrances? If you do, let me know what they are. Leave a comment down below. Always love the interaction. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you took something of value from this video. If you did, once again, subscribe, hit the bell, give it a thumbs up. Love you guys so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.